Hello and welcome to Supreme under Forge Alliance Forever. Apologies for the delay since the last cast. I was trying to improve the audio, but I just couldn't manage to get that shit to work with video editing software and getting it to export, and yeah, spent a lot of time and didn't manage to get to work and just kind of gave up on that. For now, I'm gonna get a new mic pretty soon, so that should allow me to keep the old workflow of just recording straight through OBS, but with better sound quality. So that'll come soon. But yeah, it's been like 2 weeks since the last cast, which is kind of unfortunate because the last one got a lot of views. So yeah, I kind of dropped the ball, but I just kind of took a break from Faff for a while. Faffing far too much. So yeah, anyway. It's enough BS. Let's get into the game. So robogear's in the bottom, playing UEF. In the blue, Turinturambar is in the top in the red, playing Seraphim. So pretty good for robogear this matchup. UEF has gotten pretty good recently. Oh, if only you could use Mongoose then and Titans, then they would be epic. But as it is, robogear, let's see, is he gonna, yeah, no stall or anything like that. These guys getting some mass reclaim. And oh yeah, in fact, the map is Goodlands, a remake by Lionheart, I believe, of, well, not a remake really, but a completely new version based on a new map based on Badlands, as you can tell by the name. And it looks a hell of a lot prettier than Badlands, that's for sure. It doesn't have the annoying plateau difficulties where you can't shoot up, for example. It's another big issue that's solved by this. And you have a bit more space, I think, to move through in this map. Still obstacles and still these impassable cliffs which create 3 lanes on the map to use. So robogear already has 3 land factories up and still no air factories, so he's gone heavy into land. So Turin has to scout immediately if he's going to take advantage of it. And then he has no bombers planned, but he's going to scout, so we have to see if he will react to the scouting intel, which will tell him maybe the air factory is just finished by the time he reaches it. See, he sees it finishing, so we definitely need to see bombers appear, or even a fast transport is another option that you can just use and drop your opponent for free pretty much, because it's not going to have any anti-air to stop you. So this map really, I like the idea. This map definitely encourages greed, so this is probably just making engineers. Yeah, you can see he has a lot of engineers out now because he delayed his air factory to build a factory to get just more engineers out rather than get more tanks, because there's so much reclaim. All of this was completely full of these rocks. You see here, all along here, in here there's tons of mass, in here it's fucking everywhere, dude. The entire map is covered in rocks, so getting double NG production at the start compared to your opponent. Your opponent shouldn't really just make NGs at one factory really, but a lot of people do. So double NG production is just more eco basically. more reclaim, more build power to make power to grab these maxes faster. You should be building this hydro instead of 2 NGs. Building these line of pigeons would be better spent on a hydrocarbon, for example. But yeah, more NGs is just more stuff basically. And yet Robo still has a lower score. I guess that's because he spent less power on no, it's not because of that. It's because he actually has quite a lot less total mass so far in the game. It looks like he was slower to actually pick up his maxes, which is surprising. He was obviously inefficient in how he expanded, but we've basically not seen much aggression. We didn't see, I don't think we saw any bombers from Turin, which is definitely an error. Here is a tank in the back of the base. It looks like he's already gotten 1 kill. Something died here. That's Celine. Couple of kills on both of those tanks, but this is secured anyway. PD is ready. Over here, ACU has grabbed the expansion. You can see they just mirror each other basically. Walk to here, secure it, get factory out, get tanks and engineers. There's tree reclaim is pretty okay here. And again, yeah, all this mass here. Even some chunks on this side. So yeah, you can see this is mostly just efficient ecoing. The most important skill in subcom is efficiency, using your resources, not power stalling, not spending too much on making power when you don't need it, and everything else flows from that. That's why I say you can get to 1600 by just putting all your mass into tanks reasonably efficiently, because that is the core skill. So pretty similar tank numbers. We have a T2MX here, and this is a pretty nice raid. It's quite easy to get tanks to the back and deny mexes, but there's not really much back there. But when you deny them, it does take a long time to get them back, so it's definitely useful and definitely annoying to have to pull tanks that could be attacking back to defend in behind the base. I think it's actually much better to not send tanks back there, but just make bombers, especially when it's just T1 tanks. They're not going to dodge, so you can actually kill them quite easily with T1 bombers, just 1 or 2, and that would clean it up much more efficiently than sending tanks back there. Turin just getting a couple kills. Always nice to farm some vet on your ACU, get that regen, extra max HP. So definitely make use of it. Also just thin out your opponent's ranks. Farming kills with your ACU at the start can make a huge difference later in the game. If you're in some kind of gun battle with an enemy ACU and you have a higher vet level, it's extremely useful. Gunships for Turin, that's what he's gone for. And let's see what kind of air force he has. He doesn't even have that many inties, it seems. So this is, comes down to micro, and Robo has much nicer micro there. I think he had slightly better numbers, but the micro just sealed the deal. That was bad micro though. But anti-air's out, and this is gonna get shut down. 4 T1 mechs killed, radar. And actually, he did manage to kill. There's a 4 kill Inti. He did manage to kill Robo's Air Force, and 1 gunship is still alive, getting some kills. Oh my god, there's so much anti-air made. That is huge overreaction. I mean, think he just made tons of anti-air out of these factories. And he actually has T3 land already. It's extremely fast T3 land. This is the kind of shit you can do on this map because there's so much reclaim. But yeah, he's like 20 something of these that he made just because he saw a couple of gunships. Bit much. But T3 land is up. That's huge. Percys are exceptional versus, well, pretty much any tank, but especially Ilshi's. The advantage Ilshi has is health and range, and generally, and has less range than a Percy, and dies in 2 shots. So Percy is the exact tank you would want to go against an Ilshavo. So this little push here, well, it allows him to suck up this reclaim with these nice attack moving engineers. And he can probably just retreat with that, save the Ilshavo. Always want to, if you can, save your units. I mean, you can see there he did kind of what he wanted. His units are reclaiming. He killed some X's, killed PD. He doesn't need to like try and attack here or something, see if he can raid or like. He's just gonna hand over to Ilshavo Rex and a few T1 tank Rex. So he just chills in mid. No need to be a hero. Every tank you throw away can be important later in the game. Less so once you get to this T3 stage, I suppose, but still always nice to have more Ilshavo rather than less. Looks like that was a gunship, or what did we see there? That looks like a gunship. So looking at the score, you can see it's very even. Mass income very even. Turin has a slight lead. Total income 44k each. Total energy income within 2k of each other, and they're over 500,000, and they're within 1,000 or 2,000 power of each other. That's they're basically completely even in terms of their economy throughout the game. Overall, there's basically nothing between them. But this is interesting. Let's see what kind of radar Turin has. Not ideal, but like this is just, it's just anti-air. He actually has a massive power slug going on right now. Needs to pause some shit. But I guess he's okay. What's he making? He's making, is that in the gun, or is that, damn, why can't I tell? Maybe he's making RAS. Could well be making RAS. So we have four Othams out, 5 Othams out. That's it. You can fit 4 on T2 transport. Might be a good idea. Meanwhile, we still have a lot of pillars being produced for quite a while. I mean, he's been at T3 for maybe 4 minutes, or well, not quite 4 minutes, 3 minutes certainly, and he's still making pillars. I think that's a mistake. Should definitely have been upgrading these. Could have much larger Parsi production right now, and he does need those extra T3 support factories to actually efficiently spend his mass. He's investing in a lot of T1 engineers. I would prefer to make T2 engineers just to avoid the horrible pathfinding issues that inevitably come with T1 engineers. And they were buffed, so they're not so inefficient as they were. Also have to look at Robo's scouting. It's not ideal, but it looks like he's getting that done now. He has a nice radar here, so he sees gunships moving in. He made so much anti-air, but it's very poorly dispersed. So most of it is actually just right here. 9 out of his 10 flags are here. So you always gotta be careful. You're not just making the right units, you're putting them in the right place. So he was making gun, and now he's making nano. This is late in the day to be making nano. I mean, it would be fine if he's preparing, if there's some push coming and he's can quickly make nano to help him defend it, but it looks like he's making it so that he can actually push. So, we shall see. It's going to be difficult to push versus Percivals with just Autumns and T2 nano gun comp. Maybe, yeah, I think we could see TML, but TMD going up. All of these going to T2, no TMD here. I don't see any TMD for Turin, in fact, at all. No, there isn't any. That's a that's pretty bad. I mean, let's see where you can make a TML and hit every one of his mexes. See right here? Basically, inside his base, you could just make... See, there's so many targets he would want to make at least 2, maybe 3 TMLs so that he can fire a lot at once and avoid Turin rushing TMD after the first couple of TMLs hit. But he's extremely vulnerable to TML. That's a big oversight. Let's speed up and see if this push comes in. See what Turin wants to do. I mean, if you make that commander, you make that like mini XP commander, and you don't use it, that's a big waste. Now the other thing that Turin has to consider is that if he's just gonna make, is he gonna make just Autumns versus Percy's? I mean, the obvious answer is that he can't possibly do that and expect to win. So we got a lot of arties coming out now. This right here is far too strong to. Well, actually, Turin wants to take on these Percys. Maybe get some overcharges in. On the left, he's pushing hard. He actually has, well, all these T1 tanks are kind of just getting in the fucking way, to be honest. Like, this guy can't do anything because he's just trapped at the back of the army. But I think might even be okay to just send these T1 tanks back and reclaim them. 'Cause the only thing they could possibly do is eat some shots from the Percy, but I'm not sure how useful it is anyway. Turin with a shield in tow, just gonna use this gun commander, kill some free pillars that are just suiciding. Percy's on attack move, farming some vet. That's the problem with keeping lower tech with higher tech armies, that these Percys are halfway to vet, or this one is actually only 2 kills away from a vet level, so vet is very strong on units with more HP. Like, you see a Destro with vet and you immediately want to turn around and leave. And they're getting like nearly 1k extra HP. So Percys with vet are very scary as well. Turin knows there's a huge army coming and he decides, fuck that, 12 Percys. He could have double nano and probably still die. Well, maybe he would actually win it there, but hard to know. Got some good dodging. So a lot of arties being used, which is really a very good idea. So it forces the robo, he's gonna have to constantly dodge, and if you can't run away in a straight line, then you're basically just unable to kite effectively. Now here he didn't actually have the Autumn supporting, so it wasn't such a big deal, but with the right numbers and composition, then the arties will prevent the Percys from retreating in a straight line, which can allow the Autumns to actually get into range, but the only problem is if the Arties get in the way of the Autumns trying to push forward. So these Percys, they're just moving in, moving back, getting kills. He's killed some Arties, killed some Autumns, killed a lot of T1 Arties and some T3. Got the shield gen there, which is quite nice. Definitely affects the ACU quite a lot, because he needs that buffer to actually ever engage an army like this of Percivals, which have much more range than the ACU. T3 Pigeon going up just in front of the base, and never like that. I always wanted them in the back. And you could say you're more likely to get dropped in the back of your base. Well, I think you're more likely to get pushed into your base than a drop to appear in the back of it, but that's just me. So you can see these Percys, they're just so fucking powerful. You can just move them in and out. I have to say that this micro's really bad. He's feeding Autumn kills to Robo, but Robo is controlling his army well. Now he's stopped moving and a lot of arty hits are landing. And this ACU is quite effective, that he can actually just not allow these Percys to come in and kill the Arties. Arties should really be under the shield though. But this is poor micro. Taking a fight he can't possibly win, and leaving a lot of reclaim in this area. Also a lot of reclaim here, although it is mostly Autumns which just died to Percys, so it looks good that you can reclaim this, but the problem is that it's only there because you are throwing away units inefficiently, so it's a bittersweet reclaim pile for Torrent. We haven't seen T3 Air, and we haven't seen RAS either. People are going for T3 P-Gens instead of RAS after the nerfs. This run by is interesting. There's not actually that much skill. That was almost T2. This one was T2. The others were T1. But this army is too strong. You can get more kills, but there's actually not much damage to be done. Not much of value to be killed. See, the shields are down, so definitely don't have a lot of power for Torrent. Needs this other T3 P-Gen, and we have T3 Air, and he's making a Strat Bomber, and there's T1 Air Scouts just over his base, seeing everything. From you can see the what's building in this. So if he pays attention, he'll know that there's a Strat Bomber, and he actually sees it come out of the factory as well. So he does have to be aware of that. Does he have any T3 anti-air? Time for a SAM, I think. Yeah, I don't see any SAM or any mobile anti-air. Pro tip: do not make T3 anti-air. Don't make mobile T3 anti-air for UEF. I don't think it's very good. Just make a T3 engineer and make some SAMs. It's just better. Strat Bomber cleans this up. I wonder will that reclaim. So we don't have any engineers taking this this reclaim field, which is pretty disappointing, I think. And there's also some reclaim here, but most of it has been grabbed. So the question is, how does what will Robo do? Is he gonna move to T3 Air? He is, of course. Also, what is Torrent's plan? Because Robo's plan is pretty simple. He can just keep making Percys, pretty much right now. He can make Percys, try not to lose air control, and just go from there, because his Percys are gonna do extremely well. He probably wants to make some shields because there is arty out there waiting for him, so shields will help versus that. And he also should probably make some SAMs because, well, that's 3 Strat bombers out in the field, and it looks like they might all get away, and they do. So he can make Percys, but Turin can't really just make Othams, and I don't think he can just make Arties either. Actually, oh my god. Arties from Demolishers from robogear are absolutely crucifying this army. You can see almost all of them are half HP, many of them in the red. That's just brutal. That's why you need shields in an army, and also why you need to be very careful and watch carefully when you're at the T3 stage, because if you're not careful, Arties can do huge damage. And there goes 3 Percys. Strat bombers just, wow, 6 Strat bombers. It's huge. Have to see SAMs now. Have to. And I don't, which is very disappointing. 6 Strat bombers out. It looks like he just wants to snipe them with his ASF. He does have a few ASF, but if he gets drawn into this cloud, he will lose them all. And yeah, so pretty good from Turin to still have that 2 on Air Force, so he can. It is actually somewhat useful for defending his strats, and you actually see him repairing his strats. You really have to do that. I mean, it's so efficient to repair strat bombers in air staging. We saw that his strat bombers were down to maybe less than half health, and they go into these air staging and they get refueled and they get fully repaired in seconds, maybe like 2 seconds maybe or something, and they'll be full health, which is basically like because repair in normal gameplay it costs exactly the same as just building the unit. So and a strat bomber is like what, almost 2k. It's like, yeah, over 2k, 2.1k mass. So if you repair half of that, that's 1k mass saved basically, because air staging is free. It performs its repair and refuel for free. This is really nice. You can see he totally realizes that he can't do the normal T3 tank spam as Seraphim. He can't just spam tanks. Even just making arty is not going to help him enough. So he's using this group of strat bombers to fight the Percys, and robogear's not reacting. I mean, there's still no anti-air here. There's no SAM, forward SAM. I mean, if you had a SAM anywhere here somewhere, which is, you know, not exactly difficult to do, but if he did, then these strat bomb attacks would be a lot more difficult to pull off. You would have to be a lot more careful in where he can actually fight. And now Turin is wasting these strat bombers after being very careful about it, but it looks like he looks like he wants to push extremely hard right now. So he is just sending them in. I think it's a mistake. He could have attacked better targets. I mean, this right here would be great. But he's lost air and he's lost his strats, and he looks committed to pushing with these T3 tanks. Look at how much damage these have taken. I think these are the tanks that took damage from the arties. This is a very dangerous group that's pushing in. But it doesn't look like they're going to be effective. Percys can fall under this shield. Robogear can overcharge if needs be. He is making T2 PDs as well. and every Percy coming out of these factories is moving across to defend. This group is completely destroyed. This group ain't gonna last much longer. So let's see. Eco-wise, Turin just doesn't have enough power. He's actually, oh, that's actually why he can't afford this Omni sensor, and also he made the Omni sensor. Ah, that's bad to not make it beside a T3P gen. You can save so much power. You have to use adjacency on an Omni. You have to. Forward tanks getting pummeled again. And yeah, Turin fed a lot of mass there. Look at all this. So what Robo needs to do is just, well, I wouldn't make a T3 shield gen, but I would keep making more power, and also get a few more factories out and just attack move, grab all of this as fast as possible. He could definitely be faster about taking this reclaim, and he could also use it. If we look at eco, you can see 4 T3P gens, mexes I should say, not P gens. It's actually making a T3 mex back here, which is a bit more dangerous. I mean, these guys are already shielded, why not go for them? And they're in the base, so less likely to get attacked by drops. Over here we have a mech marine aiding his Percivals versus these arties. Oh, poor guy got vaporized. 27 Percies, these arties in mid gonna go down. I mean, they're just fighting against shielded arties, so what are you gonna do there? Not much. But Robo has basically just soaked up attacks. He hasn't pushed out because, well, initially ooh, there's the chicken. But yeah, he hadn't pushed out because he had no way to deal with the 6 Strat bombers that were just wrecking his Percy's. Kill a group over here, kill some over here. So that just denies him any opportunity to push. So he sat back, and Torrent's push failed, and he's just sucking up the reclaim, continuing to try and eco. If we look at Torrent though, he has a lot of eco right now. Looks like he has 6 T3 mexes. Yep, 6. That's pretty impressive. He also has, well, that's pretty poor scouting coverage. I wonder. I think you can use sniper bots on this map. I'm pretty sure they would work fine. Whoa, sorry for that. Yeah, I think you could use sniper bots, so that's definitely another option for Torrent, should he choose to go for it. I also think what I would love to see would be a quantum gateway for OCSUs. How do I say it? Overcharge. Excuse me. Overcharge SCUs. I think that would be a great option. They have auto overcharge, and they're just fucking epic. Hugely powerful nano, and they're just exceptional units. Look at these exceptional units though. Marines, the Green Berets moving in, killing anti-airs, taking down anti-air bases. Moving on to run through the jungles at the back of this base. So over here, the chicken is revealed. I think he had no idea this was coming because well, I don't think he had seen that it actually was a chicken, because there was no reaction from his Percy's until it actually came into view and was shooting. But he does manage to save some of his Percy's there. He lost quite a lot, but Turin lost all of his tanks. And the chicken hasn't taken any damage, so this is not ideal. The chicken doesn't have... Well, it has a fair bit of vet, but it's gonna need more, and it needs more backup. Only 5 tanks with it, so dangerous stuff. Robogear microing quite hard. Turin doing the exact opposite, but these Sams getting several kills. This is nice from Turin, just to try and trap this army, get as much vet, kill it all before it can actually do anything else. Yeah, look at this. Nails them all and gets a vet level. He's on 2 vets, in fact. And these mech marines kill the T2 mechs up here. Pretty funny. Now this is the time where I think you have to just retreat with the chicken. I mean, like, look at this. What can you possibly hope to achieve? This army is all Percy's. And now he's actually losing power. Losing... Oh god. Oh god. Okay, he's just gonna suicide it in, try and do as much damage as possible. Not the best ball. But... Oh, that was good. Look at that. Okay, so he just decides he actually had no option to retreat there by the time he moved in slightly. It was too late then. So he decides to just die as much as possible in the middle of the Percival army. And yeah, this lightning does insane amounts of damage. It does like 1k DPS. Every time it hits something, it does 1000 damage. So when there's a lot of things around it, it will hit a lot of different things, and it'll hit them almost every time. Sometimes it just hits the ground, but if it's next to another experimental, it will just hit that experimental basically every single time, giving out the total damage that it can of 1k DPS. Just something to remember. If you can manage to let your Thought die, if it's gonna die, you should have it die next to a lone XP, and it's extremely effective. So we have a lot of T3 mexes now. 2, 4, 6, 8. I think we could see even more at this stage. I think these guys are not being as efficient as they could be. I mean, here we have them. This mech's upgrading to T3 for some reason, and it's also not being upgraded. Bit unfortunate. So counter push now with these Percys. I think it will be wise not to push any further. If he can just secure this reclaim field and grab it all, and you can see he has an Atholta wreck. So the thing to do when your opponent loses a big weapon, a big army, or a big chunk of their army, and you can reclaim it, it's on your side, or you have control of that area, you want to take that reclaim. You don't want to push straight after. You want to allow the reclaim to give you an advantage. So that means you have to wait until you've actually used the reclaim to get ahead before you push your advantage. Because if you push straight after, then maybe, as we can see here, like Turin hasn't actually lost anything yet. He just traded an Atholta basically for this base and quite a few Percivals, so he's not necessarily at a disadvantage yet because you haven't used the mass yet. So he has another chicken ready, and if you push in with this, then maybe you see all these tanks and arties and this chicken and the shields and PDs that can go up, then maybe you don't push through and then you end up just giving the advantage right back. before you've even used your own. We do see what robogear's making with this mass. It's making fatties. Obviously an epic unit, far better than a chicken bot. On the right though, we see what else he's using his mass for, which is a whole army of marines, of mech marines, which is a bit strange, but there you go. T3 mechs has gone up here on the sides, like, and at the back. We have a huge number of T3 mechs. Every back mech is now T3. Fatboy has begun shooting at the chicken bot. Yeah, I'm quite baffled as to why these are T2 and all the back mechs are T3. Also, these are all T2 as well. Still very strange stuff. There you go. Another chicken back here to defend the base, and it's going to be just farming a bit of vet. It's only going to help it in the long run. This Fatboy not exactly retreating as fast as it could. You can see how much range he had before he actually started running away. Now the chicken is almost in range. So it looks like the chicken is going to go down before it can kill the fatty, but you can see it took down the shields. It's doing a lot of damage now, and this ball is going to be dodged just. This fatty would have died to that ball. It was very close, so gotta be very careful of your Fatboy. They're extremely fragile. Less health than some ACUs, so, and they're very slow. Mech Marines and Percy's in the back lines. Actually got T3 mexes over here which can go down. And we have a yeah, okay. So we have two chickens running up mid. This is not taken back yet. But two chickens look to be running up mid. Yeah, he thinks better of that. Don't want to run into these Percy armies. Another fatty done. And yeah, we got an Aswasher planned if the T1 NGs ever get the fuck out of the way. I think, wow, he stopped at 10k. I thought that didn't reclaim it either. Oh, okay. But I think there's a real issue here, is that these guys aren't using, they're using their late game weapons, but there's a lot more late game weapons than the two most basic XPs. I mean, you can't really blame Robo for making Percys and Fatties. They're obviously good units, but I don't think anyone has maybe considered making a nuke or making a quantum gateway or even making a nuke defense. Well, actually no, we do have a nuke defense for Turin. Sorry about that, but we don't see anything from robogear as far as I can tell. I do not see a nuke defense, and also no nuke. So Turin could definitely go for a nuke. He should know that there's no nuke defense. He has perfect vision over the central part of the base. How do you combat two fatties which can actually shoot across? Like, as you can see here, they're positioned correctly by putting them in mid and having a large Percy army around them, but he can just direct them to either side or through mid as he wishes. And this chicken is fucked. Over here, this chicken dies just before it finishes its vet, and anything left can be cleared up quite easily. It also dies in a position where it's only going to damage Turin's army. This chicken, well, it might kill some stuff with its death ball, but it's ultimately a waste. So things looking bad for Torin. It comes down to this: what can this Aswasher possibly achieve? And the answer is a lot, I think. All of these Percies, any Percy, I think no matter what vet it has, maybe if it's full vet and full HP it won't die, but any other Percy will die in one hit to an Aswasher blast. And Aswasher versus this army, I mean, just think how much mass you kill in one bomb. It's absurd. And actually, he can't see the Aswasher being built. He sees, well, there is the radar signature, and now he sees it, and he's gonna hit both fat boys, bringing their shields down low. So many arties in mid. These are just dying to be murdered by fat boys. Fat boy versus arty is just completely unfair. Look at this. Gotta feel bad for these guys. They were given an attack order, so they just came out from under the shield. It's quite unfortunate. Oh, the robogear had a huge advantage in air, and he completely oh my fucking god. He completely fucked that. He went into fight air, and he did well fighting air, but just allowed the Aswasher to just disappear. He just ignored it, and the Aswasher came down here and killed. Fuck, how many Percies did he kill? Maybe 2. I don't know, like 25 to 30 Percies? That looks like 25 Percies, about. Like, holy shit. What the actual fuck? So, okay, we even have Titans now. The Titans are there because there's arties, but that's far too many Titans to actually make for those arties, I think. Unless maybe he can run past, and he actually could do that if he spammed a few more Titans. He could actually easily do run-bys here. Could even run by into this area. So there does not seem to be many tanks from Torin anymore. He's decided Othams are not the way, and he's right. Only 4 factories, 5 factories with basically no assist. The problem is he also has very low production on his T3 air. No, I missed these factories, but he has no adjacency for some reason. Not sure why. This position attacked again. That's moving to T3. So significant damage done, without much needed to do it. This is absurd. We got 3 fat boys, 4th halfway done. We do have a nuke defense. Torin is queuing up, is actually more than halfway done on his second. I was wrong, we have 4 fat boys, not 3. Correction. And we're gonna see another Aswasher. Do we see even a single Sam? I really am struggling to see Sam launchers. Also, we have another Omni sensor with no adjacency. Triggered. Yeah, I don't see any SAM launcher. So much reclaim. If we look at total reclaim, 202,000 for robogear, 95k for Torrent. And units are just being suicided in to Fatboy range, and they're happily gobbling them up, getting some vet. This guy 136 kills. this one in range of this base. T2 Mex is going to go down. Here comes the second Aswasher though, and this army is gone. Oof. This is a... I saw a game on Settings a long time ago. And it was Blackheart versus Petrich on... I think Blackheart was Beach, and they were both Seraphim. And Blackheart just made Aswashers to Groundfire Petrich's T3 subs. It's a kind of similar idea, but... well, kind of similar here. For the Aswasher, you just have to keep it alive, because every bomb it drops gives huge value. So if you get one bomb drop and you're able to retreat to your SAMs or retreat to your ASF, that's huge. So what does robogear need to do? Well, this is great. To kill the air like this is great, but he is also... he has to make sure he's trading extremely effectively there, because he's losing a lot of air to SAMs. Oh, here comes another drop. This fatty is the target. Actually, that was interesting. This... oh, the Titan was under the shield, yeah. So it didn't die. Another Aswasher and another one planned afterwards. Fuck me. So, like... what I said he should have built a long time ago was SAMs. Oh no. ASF got hit by that. Those ASF got hit by the... oh fuck. Just saw about 5 ASF just get completely vaporized by SAM. 90 kills, man. Oh, it's just killing these fucking scouts. Another drop on this fat boy takes damage. Not really a great target. Would be much better to kill groups of Percys, but robogear is keeping them a bit more spread out. He's not keeping maybe 30 in an army together, but they're still huge targets. Like here, and this fat boy is going to be very low, 4k HP. So yeah. SAMs, but this is really good. Turin just taking advantage of this. This is like the default. Just make fatties and Percys, and it's always been the way. Versus that UEF strength is the problem for it is air. It's fatties, obviously. Anything with low HP for its cost and high range is by definition vulnerable to air, and we saw him use strats before versus Percivals, and now he's using the next best thing to a strat bomber, and that is Aswashers. 63 kills on this guy, and they're just going in for free passes. Now we see SAMs, but they're so far back. And it's basically started 20 minutes too late building those SAMs. Now lost a SAM launcher and a lot of T3 build power. Another Aswasher coming up. So many fucking fat boys. Oh my god, he could lose 2 at once. Holy shit. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, oh please finish it, come on. 6 fat boys, and 2 just died, so there was basically 8 if this one was finished. It's like 90%. 8 fat boys. I mean, at some point you have to wonder, why do you need 8 fat boys and you don't have any SAMs, or you don't have a nuke launcher, you don't have a T3 RD, like a static T3 RD, you don't have enough air to actually kill the... like, is he increasing his T3 air production? I see a lot of engineers, in fact a ton of them are idle. Oh my god. You can see the Aswasher just takes out an entire army which had a lot of T3 mobile AA, and as the AA is shooting, it doesn't even get to fire all its shots before it's killed by the Aswasher bomb, and then the Aswasher just fucks off and just leaves. Oh no, drop here. He's gonna lose some HP, but ultimately he's okay. And he has 100 regen per second. 100 per second regen. Looking at reclaim, robogear still just fucking miles ahead. We actually still have most of this Thulderek intact and not reclaimed. And Robo is just making sure that his base, at least his base, his core base, won't get bombed by Aswashers by making a ton of shields. So Aswasher taking damage. Ooh. A lot more SAMs are needed. He's actually killing SAMs now with his... Oh, very nice catch to take out that Aswasher, but it looks like he's going to lose air for it. Okay, he retreats back towards his base, over to his SAMs. That's a great idea. No point in fighting that fight when it's just not a good fight for him. This is a huge, huge amount of mass. Somebody needs to drop on that. So many SAMs just inside the base, so Robo has to be thinking that, like, he just can't push out. It's just impossible for him to push out. So what does he need to do? Well, he just needs to, I guess, well, he can SAM creep his way up, continue making those purses. He still has like 50 purses. They can't do anything. He can't leave his base with them because they will just get bombed. And even making T3 anti-air, T3 mobile anti-air, that will not solve the problem. Only thing that can solve the problem is SAM creep, or maybe just making stuff in your base that you don't need, so you don't need to leave your base. Just make T3 and RT, make nukes. I mean, there's only one nuke defense here. He can see it, and it covers this, so I guess there's not great targets. Actually, we see a nuke from Turin, who is not spending his mass in any way. He needs more P-gens. If you have a full mass bar with 30k mass and you only have plus 600 power, you need to build a couple T3 P-gens immediately. So you could nuke like here even. Could nuke this T3 Mexes over here. Could nuke the edge of this and the edge of the range and kill this shit. I think his air there accidentally, well, you see, air is quite annoying in that it will just attack shit. It loves to make up its own orders and attack stuff that's across the map. That's a Continental dropping NGs, okay. Where is he dropping them? Yeah, he is dropping on the plateau to suck on that juicy wreck. We have an anti-nuke. We only have one, so could potentially get nuked on this side. Another non-drop, and this guy is going to take a ton of damage. Oof. Okay, down to 25k, 28k. We need air staging for T4s, right? That'll be the next stage of buffing air staging so people use them. So let's see how far this anti-nuke reaches. So yeah, definitely all of this is vulnerable. If you drop it here, and you can kill everything in this place. I mean, all this production, you can kill T3 air production as well. So this nuke could be very useful for Torrent, and he is obviously not stalling, so it's going to build quite fast. He only has T1 NGs assisting it, so it's not ideal, but so gonna build pretty quick. We have a push, mostly T1 arties. Obviously a great unit to push with, but it's not really gonna achieve much. Maybe you can kill some T3 NGs that are making SAMs. That would be probably the most useful use. The most useful thing that army can do. Still kind of disappointed with the radar coverage. I think it's because he keeps stalling power. He should definitely make energy storage. You don't want 9,000 energy storage at this stage of the game. It's just not enough. This Aswasher, 112 kills. Took a lot of damage there again. Well, a few K damage. And he leaves. Another Aswasher planned. I would have loved to see some Quantum Gateway at some stage. And make those OC SCUs. Because Aswashers, I mean, you can see they're getting less and less effective. He's just robogear just continues to sit in his base and make more anti-air. And wow, this Aswasher is really low now. Another one completes. But he now has basically 3 Aswashers versus everything here. The nuke can maybe help him as well. That's another deterrent to a large push. So you can just nuke that oncoming army. That's pretty nice. We can see the propensity for these bombers to just attack anything vaguely close to them. As it bombs some engineers, he spots it and decides, well, we don't need to fight there. There's no point in bombing some T1 NGs and a T1 mechs. And it even draws out some ASF, which is probably also accidental. And it's just giving more vet. At some stage, robogear is gonna have to leave his base because he's not making anything that can. Well, in fact, I spoke too soon. He's making a nuke launcher. But for that to win the game, he's gonna have to kill the nuke defense. And he doesn't seem to have any way to do that at the minute. It has lots of shields, has SAMs around it, so I don't think you're gonna bomb that. 38 SAMs, all of them quite far back in the base, unfortunately. And 24 mobile anti-airs, most of them on the right hand side. How much reclaim? A lot. 324k. Oh, 23 he says. 172 for Turin. He finds it difficult to believe Robo has so much. If we look at generated mass, Turin 546 to Robo's 434. So really remarkable that Turin is actually has so much more eco compared to the robogear, who is basically just using that reclaim. But you have to say Robo has a huge army, gigantic army. Like if you count mass for mass, what he has, six fatties and 78 Percivals. That is fucking absurd. I mean, 29 Autumns, 22 Arties. That's really shocking that you made so many Arties when there's 6 Fat Boys out. And then most of his army is in fact in these 3 Aswashers, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this game ends, because the Aswashers are so good versus large groups of Percivals, and there are many large groups, and they're also pretty good versus fatties. Can probably hit multiple fatties at any time, given there's just so many of them. You can't even get them out of range of each other. And look at all that anti-air just go poof. Gone instantly. This did not drop. If that dropped, it would have been huge. But as it is, it doesn't drop. Tries to retreat, gets instantly vaporized. And now we have a massive air fight. And robogear is pushing like a madman. Now retreating his air smartly back to his SAMs, and Turin is not reacting, and he's just getting wiped. He's going to lose all of his air. I think Aswasher's moving in again, and they don't drop. Bad micro there. On the left, Titans, OP Titans, want to just run past, and there's nothing to stop them. There's no T2PDs or anything. And now we have a nuke. Where is it launching? Here, that's... oh, I think he maybe misplaced that. Should have been maybe over this way a bit. robogear hasn't even reacted to it. He doesn't give a fuck. Now he sees it, and he's actually moving towards it. He's actually moving into the nuke. He... what? And holy shit, so many Percys just died to that Aswasher. Wow. Titans are in the base, the Omni goes down. Power is surely going to be next. Fatty's just in the base. There's nothing. There's no T2 arties. Aswasher still just flying overhead. I mean, what can it possibly do versus what's left? I mean, surprising number of Percys just died there, but that nuke had to kill like 2 to 3 fat boys for this to ever be possible. And really, oh wow, he made a T3 RT. He made a T3 RT when he had a massive unit disadvantage, a massive land army disadvantage. If he puts that mass into... I mean, he had all the time in the world to make T2 RTs. Shields and T2 RTs, I mean, what are the fat boys going to do? Because Seraphim have good... obviously great shields, and they have good T2 RT. So, Turin... he should have built 2 more washers. No. I respectfully disagree. Could have made a few things, but I don't think 2 washers would have helped. A replay stopped just the right time for that fat boy. Yeah, just imagine, he had a hell of a long time to basically defend versus the fat boys. I mean, eventually they're gonna have to move out, so they can't do anything in the base. Pretty much gonna have to come out. Oh, look at these. Disgusting. On storage T3 mechs. But yeah, if he had T2 RTs, then okay, he's gonna need a hell of a lot to actually stop fat boys from just pushing through. But I mean, he made a T3 RT which was 80k mass. Isn't it 80k mass? I think it's about that. Let me just make sure. Yeah, Duke is 72. I think they're all around that ballpark. So Turin, I like the idea. The washers worked really well, but he kind of stayed on the washer train too long and didn't make arties to really stop the fatties, because it still takes three drops to kill a fatty, and that's not easy. But if you have T2 arties shooting them, and maybe TMLs shooting them as well, and then you drop a bomb on them, then that's far more effective. And yeah, so much reclaim for robogear. So many pushes have failed that the UEF just soaked up, and then eventually they just rolled over the Sarah. alien. So GG, nice game. Would have liked to see more nukes and more T2RT and more SCUs. Gotta bring those out whenever you get the chance. I think at surfing, they're just so good. Anyway, that'll be that, guys. So thanks for watching, and GG.